Picture this. You've been putting away 10% of every paycheck for 20 years. Your 401k balance finally hits $300,000. Then your business opportunity comes along, the chance you've been waiting for. But there's a problem. Your money is locked away, and accessing it means handing over $120,000 to penalties and taxes. You saved your own money, but you can't use it. Over 60 million Americans are living this exact reality right now. The retirement account you were told would set you free, it might actually be the biggest financial trap of your lifetime. And the worst part is, most people don't figure this out until they desperately need their money and can't get to it. Stay with me, because what I'm about to show you will completely change how you think about retirement planning. Let's rewind to 1978. The 401k wasn't created as some brilliant retirement solution for American workers. It started as an obscure tax code provision that corporations quickly realized they could exploit. See, before the 401k took over, most American workers had something completely different: pension plans. Your company invested money on your behalf, took on all the investment risk, and guaranteed you income for life after you retired. The burden was on them, not you. But pensions were expensive for corporations, really expensive. When companies figured out they could shift retirement responsibility onto their employees through 401k plans, they jumped at the opportunity. By the late 1990s, traditional pensions were vanishing at an alarming rate. Today, less than 15% of private sector employees have access to a pension. You've been handed a 401k and told it's the modern solution. But here's the question nobody asks. Who does this system actually benefit most? You or the financial companies managing your money? Before we go further, here's something that'll blow your mind. The average 401k investor loses over $100,000 to fees they never even see. And that's just the beginning of what they're not telling you. Let's address the elephant in the room. Your 401k money is essentially in prison until you turn 59 and a half years old. Think about that age for a second. It's completely arbitrary. Your life doesn't wait around for some magic number the IRS picked decades ago. What happens when you're 47 and get laid off during a recession? What happens when you're 53 and your parents need expensive medical care? What happens when you're 44 and the perfect real estate investment opportunity comes along? Your 401k balance could be sitting at $400,000, but if you touch it early, you're looking at a 10% penalty plus your regular income tax. In many cases, that means losing 35 to 40% of your withdrawal just to access your own savings. Let me say that again. You worked for that money, you saved that money, but the government punishes you for needing it before they say you're allowed to have it. This isn't financial freedom, this is financial handcuffs. And here's what really gets me. By the time you reach that magic age of 59 and a half, your life has completely changed. Maybe you wanted to launch a business at 40. Maybe you needed to invest in real estate at 50. Maybe you wanted to help your kids at 55. But your money was locked away, completely useless for the life you were actually living. Now let's talk about investment choices. Or should I say the illusion of choice? You open your 401k statement and see 15 or 20 different mutual funds. Looks like options, right? But here's what's really happening. You're limited to whatever pre-selected menu your employer and their plan administrator decided to offer you. You can't buy individual stocks. You can't invest in real estate. You can't choose the best low-cost index funds from Vanguard or Fidelity unless those specific funds happen to be on your company's approved list. And here's the dirty secret. Many of those funds on your list pay revenue-sharing fees to the plan administrators. Translation? The options you're being given aren't necessarily the best for your retirement. They're the most profitable for the middlemen. Those target date funds your 401k keeps pushing, they often carry fees of 0.5 to 2% annually. Sounds small, right? Here's the math. On a $250,000 account over 30 years, a 1% annual fee costs you roughly $100,000 in lost compound growth. That's money that should be in your pocket, but instead it's quietly flowing to Wall Street. You're working overtime, skipping vacations, saving diligently, and someone else is silently siphoning off your wealth in the background.
And wait until you hear about the free money from employer matching, because it's not quite as free as they make it sound. Every financial advisor loves to say, always get the full employer match, it's free money. But let's look at what's really happening behind the curtain. First, that match isn't actually yours until you're vested, which typically takes 3 to 5 years. Leave the company before that, and you forfeit some or all of it. So it's not free money, it's loyalty money, designed to keep you chained to your employer. Second, you only get the match if you contribute your own money first. If you're struggling with credit card debt at 22% interest or living paycheck to paycheck, is it really smart financial advice to lock away your cash for decades just to get matching funds you might lose if you change jobs? And here's the kicker nobody mentions. When you finally retire and start making withdrawals, every single dollar, including that employer match, gets taxed as ordinary income. That free company contribution, the IRS is standing there with their hand out, ready to take 20, 30% or more, depending on your tax bracket. When you factor in vesting schedules, early withdrawal restrictions, and future taxation, that free company contribution starts looking a lot less generous. Speaking of taxes, this is where the 401k trap gets truly dangerous. The whole pitch is contribute pre-tax dollars now, pay taxes later when you're in a lower tax bracket in retirement. But that assumption that you'll be in a lower tax bracket, is it even realistic anymore? Look at history. Tax rates right now are historically low. In the 1950s, the top marginal rate was over 90%. In the 1970s, 70%. Even in the 1980s, it was 50%. Today's top rate is around 37%. With massive national debt, an aging population requiring more Medicare and Social Security, and increasing government spending, do you honestly think tax rates will be lower in 20 or 30 years? Many financial experts believe taxes are heading up, not down. If they're right, you're deferring taxes today only to pay a significantly higher rate tomorrow. You're making a massive bet on the future tax code, and if you're wrong, you lose big. But it gets worse. At age 73, the IRS forces you to start taking required minimum distributions, RMDs. Whether you need the money or not, you must withdraw it and pay taxes on it. You don't control when. You don't control how much. And if you don't comply, you face penalties up to 25% of what you should have withdrawn. You spent 40 years building this account, and now the government is dictating how you use it. Is this really your money, or are you just holding it for the IRS? So if the 401k has all these problems, what should you do instead? Let me be crystal clear. I'm not saying never use a 401k. I'm saying stop treating it like your only option. Here's a smarter strategy. First, contribute enough to get the full employer match. That's still an immediate return you won't find anywhere else. But then stop. Don't max it out and call it a day. Second, open and max out a Roth IRA. You pay taxes now, but every penny of growth and every retirement withdrawal is completely tax-free. No RMDs, no forced distributions, total control. The contribution limit is $7,000 per year in 2026, or $8,000 if you're over 50. Third, if you have a high-deductible health plan, max out a health savings account. This is actually the most tax-advantaged account in existence. Contributions are tax-deductible, growth is tax-free,
And withdrawals from medical expenses are tax-free. Given that the average couple spends over $300,000 on healthcare and retirement, this is massive. Fourth, open a regular taxable brokerage account. Yes, you'll pay taxes on dividends and capital gains, but there are no age restrictions, no withdrawal penalties, no RMDs, and complete investment freedom. You can access your money anytime, for any reason. If you're strategic with tax loss harvesting and long-term holdings, your tax burden can be surprisingly manageable. Fifth, consider real estate. Rental properties provide leverage, tax deductions, monthly cash flow, and appreciation. You can access equity through refinancing without selling. You can pass properties to heirs with favorable tax treatment. And unlike your 401k, real estate generates income today, not just 30 years from now. Finally, think about starting or investing in a business. The wealthiest Americans didn't get rich maxing out retirement accounts. They built businesses, created value, and generated multiple income streams. Why isn't this the standard advice? Because the financial industry makes billions keeping your money locked in accounts they control and profit from. They need you to believe the 401k is your only path.
Here's the bottom line. Financial independence isn't about having a massive number in a retirement account you can't touch. It's about having options, flexibility, and control over your money at every stage of your life. The 401k should be one tool in your arsenal, not your entire strategy. Build multiple buckets of money with different tax treatments, different access rules, and different growth potential. That's how you create real wealth and real freedom. The real trap isn't the 401k itself. It's believing it's your only choice and putting all your eggs in one basket that you can't access for decades. You have the power to choose differently. You can educate yourself, diversify your investments, and build wealth on your terms. So here's my challenge to you. What's one thing you're going to do differently this month? Will you open that Roth IRA, research real estate investing, start that side business you've been thinking about? Drop your answer in the comments below. I read every single one. If this video opened your eyes to a different way of thinking about retirement, smash that like button and subscribe for more financial truth that the industry doesn't want you to hear. Your financial future is too important to leave in someone else's hands. Take control now while you still can. I'll see you in the next one.